From the heart of Kansas City, it's time for Real Hooligans. Here's your host, Tim English.
All right, Hooligans. Let's do it. It's the 420 episode, Dazed and Confused. If I'm not dazed and confused enough already, we're going to spend like 45 minutes to an hour being dazed and confused together.
Let's go back to 1975.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. David Kane. What's up, brother?
Tim, I'm so glad to be back for this gigantic 420 episode.
I know. It's going to be fun.
Hot.
And, of course, to make it just comfortable for everybody, we've got my main man, Owen, today.
Hello.
But Owen offers a very unique voice because Owen also loves this movie. And Owen is a music kid. He knows 70s and 80s rock music. Dude, seriously, better than adults. Like, he knows shit. I'm like, how the fuck do you... He's like, I watch YouTube videos. Owen, what's up?
Nothing at the moment, I'm just sitting here drinking water.
All right. So this will be fun for everybody.
Yes, it is.
But he wanted to join us.
All right.
So he's in. All right.
Welcome to the big
Let's
time.
do it. Dazed and Confused, 1993?
1993.
Correct. All right. Richard Linklater, who's had an interesting filmography.
Interesting. As in, like, bad interesting?
No, he's got some good movies, man. When he makes a good movie, it's a good movie. I mean, you know what I mean? He's just one of those guys. I'm not... People love his those one movies, though.
It sounds like there's a butt in there somewhere.
No. I have no butt coming. He's had an interesting filmography. I generally do like his stuff. Boyhood was a really that's an interesting experimental film that could have failed at any point during that. How long was that filmed over? Like 10 years or something?
Yes.
12, I think it was.
12, something like that. Yeah, dude. At any point, I mean,
yes,
that kid could have that kid could have gone to jail, died. Gone
off the rails.
Yeah, just not been interested anymore at all, or been awful to deal with. I mean, there's just so many just stupid little things that could happen just in his life. Because he wasn't even like an actor. It was just a kid. Yeah. So, anyway, Scanner Darkly, interesting flick.
Yeah, but he did Bad News Bears. He did the remake of that. So
yeah,
he
School of Rock
loses a
School
couple
of
points.
Rock.
He's so good.
Another one. Yeah. So he's got some good ones. All right. So what do you got for me? We gonna do 5 questions before we get started?
Yeah.
Are you gonna participate in 5 questions?
Sure.
Yes.
Right. You understand that anything you learned today is, you decided to come down here.
Yep.
All right. Let's all grow together.
Let's grow together. Let's do it. Well, you know what? We have no secrets in my family, so let's do it.
Okay, then I'll start with you, Tim.
Oh, great.
Tell me about your first time with weed, Tim.
Man, I would have been in high school. Would have been about...
Oh, late bloomer.
Oh, really? All right. Well, we'll get to David here in just a second. Oh, I don't know, man. 16? It was with... I won't say his name, but, it was with some fucking dude that I don't know, met at a party. But by party, back in those days, we did shit like... We found some place to be. We didn't ever have a place to, like, hang out. I don't know. Wasn't very memorable outside of just knowing when it happened. I didn't get the effects. I didn't feel them. You know what I mean?
It wasn't the...
Yeah, so I didn't have like a Cheech and Chong experience, where I was like, oh man, I can't even remember. It was just like, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Owen? Owen?
I've had no experiences with it yet.
All right.
It's good to know.
Good
job.
Good
Owen.
answer.
There's time and place for everything, and it's college.
There's a time and place for everything. All right, man. David, what you got? Let's hear your kindergarten story or whatever.
It wasn't kindergarten. It was 8th grade.
8th grade.
My parents sent me to live with my aunt and uncle because I was a bit of a handful, and they needed some time away from me. So I went and spent a month living with my aunt and uncle, and they lived in a less than desirable neighborhood.
Okay.
It was pretty crime ridden. It was a rough place.
Some ruffians?
Yes.
Okay.
And one night after my aunt went to bed, my uncle took me outside, and we sat on the deck, and he drank a lot of beer, Tim, a lot of beer, and I was bored out of my mind. And this dude starts shooting squirrels on telephone poles and wires with this little tiny little pistol. And it's not a big deal, and I am terrified. But then he busts out this old-timey corncob pipe.
Oh, nice. Oh, my.
He says, "You ever done this before?" And
wanting
to
corn on the cob?
Yeah. Wanting to seem like I knew what was going on. I'm like, yeah.
You're like, yeah, do you have those little things to stick in the ends?
Yeah, right. And so he gave me this thing, Tim, and I tell you what, I hit that thing as hard as a human being could. And I wanted to prove to him that I was
a big man?
The man, and I deserved to be here. Probably 15 minutes later, I am out of this world, Tim. I have no idea what's going on. Everything is spinning. I threw up on this man's tomato plant and passed the hell out. And that was the beginning.
You got good and stoned your first time.
Yeah, it was so... Oh, man. Some people say they don't. You say you did.
I didn't really.
Man,
Yeah.
I sure as hell did.
Yeah, it was underwhelming. All right, what you got? Number 2.
Did you guys have parties at the Moon Tower? Was that a thing? Did you have a Moon Tower?
Man, we had a
Topeka?
couple of places in Topeka. There was Crestview Park, which was like the parking lot of a swimming pool community center, and we had another place that was it was an area that was being cleared for development. So I had a nice little circle drive. There was nothing around. We kind of go hang out there. We just kind of had a couple hidden spots we basically would find.
Nice.
Yeah, the Canfields. I'll just throw his name out here because he was the one that always had the killer parties.
Right.
He was a year older than me, and but then he had sisters. I think one was my age, and another one was. So it was like they just had like it was just kind of like every weekend was like, is there a party at Canfields? If not, we're going to the driving around thing.
Yes,
that was us, man.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
cruising.
What do you do on the weekends, Owen?
I just stay at the house mostly.
Yeah, my kids have a totally different high school experience.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I'm only 15 right now.
Well, that's true, but I'm talking about your. Yeah, you'll have a different one, I'm sure. It's like, oh yeah,
try to enjoy it.
My brother and sister are getting ready to move out. I'm not sticking around this place. All right, what you got? Number 3.
What social group was Tim in high school?
I wasn't really part of a social group. I kind of
Same.
If there was a Venn diagram, I kind of connected with all of them somehow, some way. I just kind of had friends, man.
But I didn't fit into any of them.
That's also true.
That was the thing. I was an athlete. I played sports in high school. I was in the band. I was a nerd. So yeah, I had a spot in each of them, but none of them really wanted me. So
yeah, I mean, I had a lot of different friends, but yeah, I never.
You had friends?
Yeah,
what's that like?
It was weird.
It's weird. Yeah,
it was.
It's scary. You're saying words I don't understand. Owen?
I'm in band, so I'm friends with those types of kids, and then really I'm just friends with some other kids outside of that.
You seem like you would cross.
Yeah.
But are there cliques?
Not really. No.
Is that a thing of the past?
I hope so, because I remember when I was in high school there was like, I guess, preppies. Was that a thing?
The jocks.
I feel like some people maybe I never did though. I never saw people as, those are the preps over there. Those are the headbangers. But I know those stereotypical classifications existed, but
we had those at my school.
Yeah, I mean, but it was just like, I don't know. It probably sound like wishy-washy, but I never was part of that. No. And mainly it's because I was friends with headbangers, and I was friends with preppies, and I was friends with geeks, and I was friends with the theater kids.
So you didn't really see them as different
groups?
Yeah,
they were just people. Look at me. All right, what you got? Number 3. 3, 4? Where are we at? Okay.
Where does this movie rate on your quotability scale?
Ooh, pretty high.
Yeah. This one is kind of a major league type movie where there's just so many of them.
Yeah, like you go through it and you just, that next line.
I mean, you
can say
opened
it.
the movie or the show with probably the
One of
most
the-
iconic ones.
Oh, yeah.
That is a part of pop culture that is never going to go away now.
And that most people probably don't even know where it comes from.
Yeah.
They just know Matthew McConaughey says it.
Yes, that's his,
All right,
that's his
all
thing.
right, all right. All right. Yeah, we'll talk about some of those lines too.
Number 5.
Yep.
Was high school the best years of your life, Tim?
No way, dude.
Right.
Not even close.
Fuck a bunch of high school.
Yeah.
Sorry, Owen. I don't mean to shit all over this
No,
time of your life.
I know it's not going to be great,
Well, no, and it's not even that. I mean, I had some
no.
bad years, dude, just because we just had some crap I dealt with. I lost some friends during high school, and there were some dark days. I'll say that. But everybody has their own dark days as a teenager in high school. But man, there were those people that it was like, man, you really think this is like the peak of your life, and then they still to this day, you can see them, and you're like, yeah, you still think you're that high school dude, right?
Yes.
Those people are like 17 and they're fucking morons. You know that, right? We were all idiots when we were in high school. I mean, like, just by scientific definition, idiots. Because we were halfway between not knowing something and knowing something in that purgatory of thinking we know everything.
Sure.
So, cool.
All right, let's do this, Tim. Thanks for 5 questions.
Yes, 5 questions. All right, that was a good one, David. Good job. All right, so let's. Man, I don't know how we're gonna get into this. I don't think we'll just go through it like normal
I don't think this one fits the
because there's
normal.
not a plot.
No.
It's just the tale of the transition from 8th grade to high school, from
Junior
year to senior year. It's just that last day of school. And I don't know. Let's start with this. Any weird traditions like spanking
hazing.
other little
Yeah.
motherfuckers?
No, that was weird. We never had anything.
No.
I've never had to experience that kind of
I was class of 94. So yeah, this is 20. That was 20 years after this.
96.
17 years maybe. Yeah, 17 years after this movie would take place. They were 77, right? Is that what this was?
No, it was the
76.
76. But they were class of 77, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, right. So yeah, no hazing. I didn't give a... When I was in high school, I never felt hunted. Or when I was in 8th grade, I never felt hunted. Nor did I ever really care about the incoming... And I don't mean that in the... I don't care about the pathetic freshman. It was just like, cool, 200 new students next year, right on.
Yeah. Yay.
I mean, some of them I knew from brothers and sisters of, friends or whatever. But, yeah. So there was, I never really cared. I was never much of a, I'm going to treat these guys. I'm going to mess with the freshmen because I'm a senior.
Sure.
Never went through any of that. There was a definite, there's obviously a hierarchy when you're in high school, when you're the freshman. Sophomore is kind of a lost year because it's like you're not a freshman, but you're not an upperclassman.
Yeah.
Where the hell do we get these names
sit
anyway?
down
Where the
and know your
sophomore come from? Who, what?
Yeah.
Junior?
Junior.
Freshman?
Hey, Junior.
You're a freshman. Well, I'm not a man, I'm a woman. You're a freshman. All right, so anyways, so these little kids, these 8th graders have to worry about high schoolers beating the shit out of them.
Yes, physical assault.
I mean, they beat the shit out of some of these kids. I mean, what's that dude that used to play for the Giants? Lincecum? Isn't he in this movie?
No, I think it's just a joke that what's-his-face looks like.
Yeah,
Lincecum.
I know. Oh, and it's not real. What's that? Isn't that his name, though?
Yes.
Wasn't it Lincecum that played
Yes.
had the long hair that looked like the Mitch Kramer? What's a chick?
Fuck Mitch Kramer.
What's this chick thinking saying, go easy on my brother?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, you've doomed him.
Yeah.
Right from the start.
You don't like Mitch Kramer?
I hate Mitch Kramer.
You know who sucks? His friend Carl.
Yeah, Carl sucks.
They
Carl
all
sucks.
suck.
I wanted Carl to get beat up that whole time. And it's just like, just get it
Well,
over
tell
with.
me why Mitch Kramer sucks first. Other than is it the thing he does with when he squinches up his
And he can't stop touching his nose. At no point in time did the director ever say, "Dude, stop
it.
fucking touching your face." It's annoying. But it always...
Why are you doing that?
Every time that he has to deliver a line, there's a moment between the last person that delivered their line and the start of his where he has this, oh shit, I got to say something. What? Oh, and then he reacts. And there's this whole...
It actually works out for him later on in the movie once he starts drinking.
Yes. But he's...
Drinking and smoking weed with the boys.
Wiley Wiggins...
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sold on him as an actor.
Yeah, well, his
role.
name's Wiley Wiggins.
It's not necessarily
Wiley.
that I don't like.
You can come on the show and
Mitch.
tell me I'm an idiot because my last name's English, but that's fine. But I mean, all right. So this is our protagonist. He's going to carry us through this evening.
Yes, he is.
He's going into high school, and he's the target of Ben Affleck. Let's talk about Ben Affleck for a minute, shall we? I know you love Ben Affleck, and when I'm watching this, I'm thinking, like when David closes his eyes and thinks of Ben Affleck, I think you see O'Bannon.
Absolutely.
Because he's got that hair and he's kind of overweight, for
He's
Ben
a bigger
Affleck.
guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a little bit heftier because he's not all lean and cut like he is sometimes in his career, But this was one of his first big. This is his first big movie, this wasn't real big, but his breakout ish. He was in Family Ties, not Family Ties. What was that called? I just said it. Something. School Ties. Family Ties.
School
He was in School Ties as one of the little preppy boys, but, this is a little bit bigger role. He's like back in high school, like he should have graduated the year before.
He's been held back twice.
Twice. Yeah. And nobody really likes him. They just kind of tolerate him.
He's just the guy that keeps showing up.
He just
don't know what to do.
Did you have a dude like O'Bannon?
Yeah, in a sense, I had a guy like O'Bannon, but his was more. He wasn't an idiot. He just did never come to school. He just had other things to do. Not a terrible guy, but.
Did you ever have dudes that just didn't you graduate like a few years ago? Why are you still coming to high school parties?
Oh, like Wooderson.
Yeah, Wooderson also. Yeah.
Wooderson was the guy coming back to the high school party.
Yeah.
Most of those were like older siblings of people I knew.
Right.
So they were, they lived at the place where the house party was and partied with us. And so it was, no, I can't think of anybody that hung around longer than they should have.
We had a few. Dude, it was Topeka. I mean, I got out of there as soon as I could. I graduated in 94. Jenny and I left in March of 96. So I was gone for a while in between there, and I don't know, so it was Topeka. I got the hell out. Moved to Lawrence.
Nobody blames you for that.
No. All right, so then we have dude having the party. This would have been my Canfield, except his parents would have just fucking been like, don't let anybody die.
Yeah, right.
But you just have to love I just love the way they're all sitting around, and that dude comes in and he's like, hey, there's a guy here. Did you order some beer? And they're all just like, no. Did you know he was having a party? They're like, what? No. Or especially when they pull up and he's like, oh, you guys going out of town? Are you taking... Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, so that happened a lot, though.
Yeah.
That was the typical Topeka party. Was the party that didn't happen.
That should have.
Yeah.
Should have, would have.
Oh, man, there's something going on this weekend. Cool. And then it's like, wait, I thought why are we all sitting at fucking Crestview again? Oh, man. Yeah. Canfield's not home yet, and...
We had a couple of those.
Sorry,
at our
Dan.
house.
Dan, if you listen to this show, send me an email. We'll get you on here to talk about movies because I know you love movies. So he may listen to the show. I see him every now and then. He's always like, "Man, you do some cool shit." So come on and talk about this. We can talk about all the crazy shit we used to do at your house back in the day.
I want to hear these stories.
Yes, he's a good dude. So, yeah. So, yeah, we basically, the movie is just these dudes, all these teenagers just kind of wandering around trying to find something to do for like several hours.
Interacting on a strictly let's party basis.
Yeah. What did you do on your last day of high school?
Like the actual day or graduation?
Well, yeah, this was the, well,
Last
I
day.
guess it's not high school. What was the typical last day of school for you like? I guess we'll just frame it that way.
Well, I'll stick with high school. A typical last day was we got out at like 11:30, like a half day-ish kind of thing. And we all went to whoever's house was available. And it became the afternoon smoking lounge.
Yeah.
And
That seems about right.
We kicked our summer off with a good long session.
Yeah, that seems about right. Lots of, it was always just kind of finding, whose parents aren't home yet.
Yeah, who will not mind if we
It was never my house because
It was often my house.
my dad would come in and be like, "You have people over?" I'd be like, "Nope." Well, you didn't have anyone here? Dad, no, goddamn. He'd be like, "I smell something. You've been lighting some of that incense?"
Yeah, yes, incense is what it was.
Oh, well, my thing with my dad, funny story, I delivered pizzas back in the day. And so, I'd get off working and my car would smell like pizza. So I'd, come home and I'd change to go out for the night and I'd walk out with like a incense stick that I was going to break it off part of it and burn it in my car. And he'd be like, "What you got the punk for, to light your marijuana?" They'd be like,
No, I got a lighter for that.
"What you talking about, Dad?"
Right.
Where? What? Like, no, my car smells like fucking pizza right now. It smells like Little Caesars threw up in my car, so I'd like to get that smell out of there immediately, and having my windows down isn't helping. Yeah, so my dad was the conservative. He would have been the unpack your bags, we're not going anywhere.
Right.
Oh, I did have some throwdown parties back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just one time he had to go on a business trip. That was a bad move.
Yeah. So I was the third of four boys in my family, and my younger brother is only 2-3 years behind me. So relatively, we were in high school together.
Right.
And by that time, my parents had just given up. The other two brothers had broken them so badly in their desire to, fuck it, just do whatever. Just don't get arrested and don't get killed.
That's why he's going to be interested, because brother and sister were good. That's why I'm allowing him to sit in, so he knows that I'm not a dummy.
Well,
Nope, I'm not a dummy. All right. So, anyways, where are we? Who do you want to talk about? What about London? What about this dude?
yeah, how you feel about that?
I don't know. Has he been? This dude hadn't been in anything besides this movie, has he?
No.
Then we got his brother that was in Mallrats. Are you Team Jeremy or Team Jason?
Can I sit out and not pick either team?
Oh,
He did good in he was good in this.
yeah. He's the quarterback of the football team.
He doesn't want to sign the piece of paper.
Yeah, but he just kind of likes playing football. But
wants
he's
to
not
fight
like
the man.
Doesn't want to play in the NFL during his senior year. You know, he's just like, just want to do my thing.
Yeah.
If that means playing football for 8 weeks. I mean, right? It's just like, what are we talking about? Like 10 weeks out of my life here that we're going to have some games? 12 if we win it all, maybe,
He makes it clear that his priority is Aerosmith tickets.
Yeah.
So he's
And I mean, yeah, back
He
then
is not
I would have wanted to
stressing-
see Aerosmith live
Hell
back
yeah.
then. Yeah.
he is not stressing about your little football rules and what you're trying to accomplish in your state championship season.
Did you ever have where'd you go to high school?
Olathe South.
You had some good.
Fuck you, man. What the hell?
Oh my, that was funny. All right, did you have good football teams?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, we did.
Who was the?
Olathe North was the good football
Okay,
team,
there.
though.
Yeah, okay. They were the one that had like
They
that,
had Darren Sproles.
Yeah, that legendary coach. I can't remember what his name was.
Coach. Yeah, who cares?
Something. I just remember.
Yeah, he went
was
off
like
to
a big deal.
Texas and
Something.
coached some high school in Texas that
Yeah.
had an arena and a full,
Yeah. I remember all that.
30,000 football seat stand. Ridiculous.
He goes to North, Central Mission North. So
Oh yeah, our football team's terrible.
I don't care.
All of our sports are not very good at all.
he's not like.
So why are you laughing at other people?
Nah, it's just a late this out.
I don't even know what that means.
Make sure you stay close. Talk your trash into the mic. All right. So then we have the girls. We want to talk about the girls.
We love them.
Joey Lauren Adams, Mila Jovovich. I think I would have hung out with her probably mostly.
Probably.
Her and Slater. Check you later.
Yeah, check you later.
Because they were just like always just not involved in any drama.
No.
Ever.
Just so happy
They were kinda
to
just
be
there.
a part of
Yeah, they were just kind of hanging out in the background. Which one was Pickford?
Pickford was the one that was gonna throw the party.
Oh, okay.
That is
That is looks like Jesus in his IMDb picture. Anthony Rapp was he from Babysitting Adventures in Babysitting? Remember that movie?
Babysitting, yep.
How about Marissa Ribisi?
Yes.
That's Giovanni Ribisi's twin sister. Did you know that?
I didn't know they were twins. And
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you take her hair away, she looks just like him.
Yeah. Adam Goldberg is Mike. Rory Cochran, he's Slater, by the way.
Isn't Parker Posey in this as well?
Parker Posey, she's just like queen bitch in every single thing. That's like,
Yes.
what would happen if you got like her and Joaquin Phoenix in a movie together where he was just like an evil prick and she was just like a smart ass bitch? I mean, you think
I think the Matrix would implode.
it would just like, we don't know who to hate more in this situation.
The universe collapsed on itself.
Michelle Burke is Jody. She's Mitch's sister. And she's kind of got a thing going with the quarterback.
with Brandel.
You know, pretty nice of her. All right, so
But he's got a girlfriend already.
yeah, Joey Lauren Adams. And I love the scene where they're rolling around and they're trying to get that one chick to spill the beans on what some other girl's been saying.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? I don't care. I'm not going to get mad. And then she just says it. And then she's like, oh, that fucking bitch, I'll kick her ass. It's like, you said you weren't going to get mad. She's like, I'm not mad.
Sure.
Yeah. That's what I love about this movie. It's so just nothing happening. So you just have like just these little moments throughout the film. So you got to get all these people, you know, everybody's waiting for the party. You have the people that are still showing up at the house. Not going well.
No. Dad is pissed.
Yeah, he's just waiting every time. And I love when Goldberg goes up the door and he's just like, yep, nope. I'm out. He's like, what is it? You're like, I'm going to say it. No, I'm not going to say anything. Let's just go. But yeah, Wooderson is great. Where does this rank on McConaughey? Did he do anything before this, or is this his first?
I think this is his first thing.
Let me
He
pull
was
up.
not around before 93.
He just showed up one day, and I was like, "Where'd
And
you
he
come
just
from?"
won't
No,
go
this
away.
is. He was in an episode of Unsolved Mysteries
Did he play
And-
the dead body?
in a video short from Trisha Yearwood. But after this, it's like, yeah, he did this. He did a movie called My Boyfriend's Back. Then he was in the Next Generation Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then he was in
He gets hit by
Angels
a
in the
plane that or
Outfield.
something.
Well, okay, so at this point we're in 1994.
He packed a lot in 93, 94. He was working.
Some crappy movies, though. I mean, well, Angels in the Outfield.
Sure.
You know, it's a Disney movie.
A long string of shit.
But man,
movies.
it's like really you get to. He did Lone Star.
Time to Kill.
That was an all right movie. Yeah, Time to Kill. That's kind of where he really started. That was with Sam Jackson and Sandra Bullock and Contact, which I always liked that movie.
I hate that movie, and I that would be one I would want to watch. And go back and
but it's like I don't like the end of it.
No,
I don't like the cop out at the end. And I was just like, I like that movie, but it's just like I don't like where it's like I'm really kind of.
You like 2/3 of the movie?
I like the idea of the movie. It's like I like where it was going, and then I thought it totally like pulled its punch.
Yes.
You know?
Shit the bed.
But it's like I was down with like all of even just the existentialism of all of it. And then I just thought it just got too hokey. Newton was like really Amistad. When did he really become a thing? It's like I'm looking at these movies. I'm like, these are all bad movies. The Newton Boys, I remember that. I mean, Amistad was all right, but even for a Spielberg movie, it's pretty low on his radar, you know?
See, it's like he does a movie and it's a hit, and then he goes 4 or 5 that you just wonder, what are you doing? And then he has another one that you're like, okay, well, that's a really great movie, and I enjoy that one.
Ed TV was not a great Ron Howard movie. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, but I'm not going to watch that one. You know, I wouldn't have any motivation to rewatch. U571, I've always felt like that was underrated.
So good. It seems like he knows the key to get back in is to do one of those rom-com type things, the Failure to Launch.
Honestly, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is one of those weird movies that's a guilty pleasure for me to watch because they're fun together and it's just such a goofy movie. But
The Wedding Planner.
Reign of Fire, you want to watch that sometime?
It's a good one. I enjoyed that one.
Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey and Gerard Butler fighting dragons. Fucking crazy. So anyway, so you have him as Wooderson. He's the guy that's, still hanging out with high school kids because it makes him feel better about himself. And his line is just, again, we talk about those quotable lines. It's just gets grosser, I think, as that's the thing I love about high school girls. I get older, they stay the same age. It's just like, it's been a classic line, but it's just like, it's not aging well.
No, it's creepy as fuck.
It's always been creepy, but, it was a quotable line, but it's like now when you quote it, it's like, oof. Maybe I shouldn't quote that one anymore.
Well, I guess it depends on the situation.
Yeah. Well, I'm 46. I can't say that anymore.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, but he's just so great. And I mean, even just the scene where they pick up Mitch. And he's like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, you got a joint? And he's like, no, not on me. Be a lot cooler if you did. I mean, again, quotable line to me. Because how many times have you been like, been a lot cooler if you did,
Party at the Moon Tower. I mean, those are just... I know I can say party at the Moon Tower to certain people, and they know, all right, we got something going. We're doing something.
Next time someone asks me if I have a job, I'm going to quote him and be like, I'm working for the city. It's not much, but it's change in my pocket.
Right.
A little money in my pocket,
right. Thinking about going back to school.
Yeah. Did you answer the question? Did you have a Moon Tower type place that you hung out?
Well, the cool thing about Olathe was back in the 90s, the further south you went, it was undeveloped. It's
crazy how much is out there now.
Yes,
man.
it was, you got to 159th where the airport was, and south of that was just fields and fields.
Right.
So we could literally just get in the car and drive until we saw a turnoff into a field. And that's where so it would be a train of 30 cars deep until the front one pulled off into a field. And that's just where we were.
We did that too, yeah. Out in Topeka, it was very easy just to kind of bounce outside of Topeka, head south a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fucking Kansas.
Senior parties, whatever your end of year class parties were always held out in some field. You guys don't do the kind of crazy shit we did.
No,
you can't really do something like that.
Of course, you're only a freshman. You don't know, but
cities within. miles. If you're
kind of boring. Kids don't do shit.
They stay out of trouble.
Yeah. What fun is that?
I don't know. I remember when Nick was in high school. I was like, man, you need to, get out of here and go get in trouble. He's like, you want me to break the law? I'm like, no, I don't want you to break the law. Just sometimes go do something that you kind of question. Should I be doing this? That kind of stuff's okay to do.
Get the heart racing.
I feel like I've taught my kids common sense that don't break the law. Don't do anything that's going to get anybody hurt.
But you stopped at don't be a dick, huh? Didn't teach them that one.
I don't know, man. I think that's just 15-year-old talking. I mean,
it must be.
sure.
All right, so where are we with Dazed and Confused here? And that's what I love. We can just kind of be dazed and confused as we wander through this magnificent film. It is. It's just kind of... Jenny and I watched it yesterday, and it's just kind of a fun movie just to kind of have on. It's got a great fucking soundtrack.
So good.
For sure.
This is another film where the soundtrack becomes a character. Because it just absolutely sucks you. Like when Mitch lays down at the end... and he puts his headphones on, and the music, you can kind of hear it through
when Slow Ride comes in?
Yes, and Slow Ride, and he closes his eyes, and his head hits the headboard, and you just know, that's the shit right there. I've put my headphones on and just drifted off into something like that. I've been in Mitch's shoes, partied all night.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we want to talk about coming home in the middle of the night? Did you have... nights where you we're like, oop, I'm getting home at 5 o'clock in the morning. This is not going to go well.
Yes. My mom was a sit on the couch in the dark and wait for the door to open.
And turn the light on, the lamp's shining down.
No. There was no light. It was that voice.
Yeah, that would all
piercing through the darkness.
Tim. Oh shit. My dad. God damn it. Like,
The good thing is there were 3 other chances that brothers were going to be out at the same time. So I could be the third one coming through the door and she's super pissed. I could be the first one coming through the door.
I had a younger sister. She was 2 years younger than me. So sometimes I had that. I could use her as a buffer, or something like that. But man, it was like she was my sister, so she was his only daughter. So it's like she could literally come up 3 days later and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I murdered someone, so we've been on the lam for a few days." And he'd be like, "Well, you should have called."
It would have been nice if you picked up the phone.
And I'm like, "Oh man, I know it's like 1. I was supposed to be home at 12:45, but he'd be like, "Well, you're never going to see your friends again."
Yes, welcome to your cage.
Yeah, you can't leave the house. Like what? I don't know. I was always grounded, and as a parent, I've had a hard time grounding because I'm just like, this is stupid. My kids don't get in trouble either, so maybe it worked.
Because
don't get in
boring.
trouble. All right, so let's see. Party's not happening. Everybody's wandering around. Mailbox baseball. Ever play? I have a story, but I didn't play.
Picking up trash cans and throwing them at mailboxes.
We never played mailbox baseball.
Any destructive behavior as a teenager?
See, we were more into blowing things up than we were so we were more likely to put 500 black cat string in somebody's mailbox as opposed to hitting.
Me and my friend
something.
Nick did that once.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, we sat in his room like all day, just trying to put breaking up fireworks and putting all the powder into a thing. And his dad, I remember, came down. We're just sitting there with beer and pizza.
Basically,
he's like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "We're making a bomb." He was just like, "Cloop." And I remember we took this thing to like a party, and we were like, "We made a bomb."
And showing it off. Wow.
And we sat it, and we lit, because we had the fuse. We lit, had a long enough fuse, and we sat there, it was like, and then it just went, and we were like, anyways, all right, so what else? What's everybody up to? Wow. Yeah. Pretty disappointing. Yeah, it was disappointing. Where was I going with that? Dazed and Confused.
We did
Destructive behavior. Yeah.
Well, we did things like strapping fireworks to, G.I. Joe planes
Oh, yeah.
and throwing them off the roof.
Okay.
We weren't big on destruction of other people's property.
I had
That
some
can get
friends
you
that got in
legal
trouble.
You know,
Do what?
I said that can get you in legal trouble.
I had some friends that got in some trouble for playing mailbox baseball.
Yeah. And
I was supposed to be with them. And then I don't know. We just didn't end up connecting that night for whatever reason. And,
Couldn't
we
get on.
didn't have cell phones back
Yeah,
then.
no
So it wasn't
pagers.
it wasn't like they were texting me going, dude, fucking meet us at Taco Tico, man. Let's do this shit. Yeah. So I was not a destructive
no.
soul. I would see it and be like, you guys are idiots. Stop it. Oh, I remember I was not living at home my senior year of high school, and I lived with these two Mexican dudes. I almost called them Mexican cats, but I didn't want you to think they were cats. These two dudes, these two Mexican buddies of mine. And it was like having children. It was my first experience with having children. It was like we took over their brothers. One of their brother had an apartment, and he was moving, and we basically like took over his place, like took over the lease.
Sublet.
Yeah. Well, his lease ended, and we just basically like signed, just transitioned over. It was like a furnished apartment. It was right over by that Taco Villa building. I've said that's not there anymore. And yeah, so I was like, it was the most miserable fucking experience of my life, though, man. I mean, they were like cool dudes, but it was a party house. Because there was like Tim's got a place. So everybody's always there. So yeah. But I mean, I remember one time when I was out of town, they smashed a Wendy's sign. Like, what is fucking wrong with you guys?
Yeah, what does that accomplish?
I don't know.
There's no fun in that for me.
Jenny could tell you some funny stories because I think she was there more than I was.
Right? Nice.
She'd be like, yeah, I partied at your place. All right. So yeah. So now we're hanging out in the field.
Kegs.
This is what we used to do. Well, we wouldn't have kegs if we hung out at Crestview. But yeah, man, if we found us a good field, yeah, kegs. Absolutely. Keg stands.
Yeah. Did you have
Beer bongs. Oh, yeah.
Did you have somebody that purchased alcohol for you? Did you have a go-to source, or was it you showed up at the party and there was just a ton of alcohol there and you just drank alcohol?
Usually we had a source. And it's just like so crazy because we'd get like a case of Natural Light and drink it like all. I mean, like we would each get one. I'm just thinking, I mean, obviously you throw beers out, you hand them out,
Sure.
but I'm like, hey, but that was also like beer water.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it is like literally like beer water, but it was just like crazy. Yeah. Sometimes we'd have beer. Most of the time we'd have our own.
Oh, and who buys your alcohol? Your dad was the correct answer. Your dad. I didn't drink in high school.
No?
I was not much of a drinker.
Oh, I've got stories.
Yeah, I'd much rather have been absolutely baked than drink. And to be honest, pot was a whole lot easier to get, for me anyway, than alcohol.
Yeah, most of the time it was easier to get alcohol. And then for a while I had a buddy of mine that was a dealer. And
He was a provider.
Yeah, a provider.
This is 2021. He was a provider.
And so it became a lot easier.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so that whole just like ending up that was pretty typical. And honestly, I think that reminds me of my last time of my senior years. Ended up in just some wooded area with a keg and,
Yep.
Yelling the cops are coming to get people away from the keg because you didn't want to fucking deal with the line. Yeah.
How many of those nights ended with
Fights?
Clint
Oh, yeah.
going crazy and starting some shit?
Yeah. That we
Did you have a Clint?
we had these two guys that were like rivals, man. There was like Rocky and Apollo, man. It was like if they were around each other, I mean, they were going to fight. And they were two big badass dudes, so
Some spy versus spy type stuff?
And then it was like, later on down the road, it was like sometimes they'd team up and fight somebody else together.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
it was like crazy. It was just like, it's like if Travis and Will got around each other, it was like they're fighting each other or somebody. And I honestly think they became friends, but I don't.
Did they go on to win the tag team titles?
But I mean, they're always like throwing each other in car. I mean, sometimes it was like, a fight, and they're like smashing each other on cars, and it was just like, Jesus Christ. But it was like, you don't get in the way of it.
No. Let that shit happen.
But no, man, we had people that was like, if there was somebody there, it's like, oh, that guy's here, he's going to be a dick. Something like that.
Yes.
But yeah. So there was the Clint, the Nicky Cat. Owen saw it and he's like, "What's up with knockoff Ben Stiller?"
Yeah.
It's like Nicky Cat, man. He's
had a long career of being that guy.
Yeah. He was in Way of the Gun, and he's just always kind of been in stuff, man. So
he just shows up.
Yeah. And I love that scene because he just. It's like, I'm going to go up and he just wants to get one punch in.
Yes.
It's like he just needs his Fight Club moment, his moment to feel alive. Like, I'm going to lay this dude down. Everybody's going to break it up.
Does not play out.
Yeah, it doesn't happen as quickly as he hoped because everybody's a little dazed and confused. They're all like, oh, we should go break that up. All slow motion. Yeah. I mean, but you know what, dude? It's his story.
Yep.
He's right. Years later, you won't remember. You'll remember the fight, but everybody probably remembers. Remember when that dude walked up and just fucking punched Clint in the face?
Right.
It was amazing. So there you go.
Times I wanted to punch Clint in the face.
Yeah, there you go, Adam Goldberg. You did win because that's what people will remember is when Clint got laid the fuck out.
Right.
And then he got beer poured on his head.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's wanted to do it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Somebody finally did it.
I got a couple of people I'd like to do it to now.
Is he one of them?
I wouldn't pour a beer on
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Owen.
Yeah.
He's just a minor. But he does deserve some of my rage.
All right, so tell me about your thoughts on this movie. You just saw this for the first time, a few weeks ago?
I saw this for the first time like 4 years ago.
Oh, so you had seen it before you rewatched it? Okay.
Yeah, I just watched it.
How much did you understand and take away at 10 years old?
Not much. I just kind of
different movie this time around?
Yes.
Yeah. That seems to happen a lot of stuff.
Who do you relate to in this movie?
I don't really know,
Do you relate to Mitch Kramer?
Not really.
Clint.
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 Do you know any Clints?
I don't know any Clints.
You will.
I'm
will.
Sure.
And when you meet him, you'll be like, ugh, it's my universe, Clint.
Fucking Clint.
All right. Did you ever have to worry about hazing at any of your levels of schooling?
Band didn't give you a hazing on the drum line?
No.
Okay.
I mean, like when you left 8th grade, you weren't worried about...
I was nervous about going to high school, but I wasn't worried about what...
He left 8th grade under a pandemic, so he's a little bit different. Yeah. So, all right, man, what about the soundtrack? What's your favorite track from here?
I don't know. I like... I don't know. Oh, there's a Deep Purple song called Highway Star. It plays very briefly, but it's a really good song. So.
Skynyrd, man. Play
some Skynyrd.
I think I have that 70s playlist, and I think it's got like 16 songs from this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It hits all of the cliches really for sure.
Yeah. In a way, like anytime you're making a Vietnam movie, you gotta have some Credence and
CCR.
Yeah. I mean,
Hendrix.
And that's kind of the thing is like a lot of times you find a movie that has like a real cliche soundtrack. And you're like, ugh. But this is one where you're like, this is cliche, but no, this is a good song. Keep it on.
Yes.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, it's good. It's good. It's kind of the funny thing, like you get into like Guardians of the Galaxy with that kind of a soundtrack, and then I listen to the 70s on 7 on Sirius, and a lot of times it's just like, are they just playing the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack? But at the same time, you look 2 movies covering about 40 songs over 2 expanded soundtracks.
Yes.
Covering the hits of the 7. I mean, it's
pretty
like
much nailing them all.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of what this is. I mean, you're hitting the good ones. So.
Yes.
So you were what, class of 96? 6.
Shut up, Owen.
What's the what's the soundtrack of the end of your school year? Did you have a song that was like, this is my jam for last day of school?
I think Jewel was pretty hot back then. I don't. I have no idea,
David, you were a
I didn't.
dork.
I didn't listen to that stuff. I was listening.
No,
to...
I just mean. So that's. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you meant like what was hot in '96.
No, I just
like
mean what was your soundtrack?
I was listening to the Dazed and Confused.
Honestly,
soundtrack.
yeah, I was like, that's kind of where I was going with this. Like, it's kind of what I was listening to.
Yes, I was a Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Doors, Hendrix. That's what I was rolling around to.
Yeah.
And then occasionally we'd mix in some of the new stuff like
The Nirvana,
Rage.
9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Owen, what do your friends listen to compared to what you listen to?
I have a lot of friends that listen to like Kendrick Lamar and stuff, and I don't dislike him. I just listen to other stuff.
Yeah,
I have a much different taste of music than them.
He does. Owen's got an old soul. So, all right, man. So we talk about when dude goes home. Mom's not happy. I had a lot of those nights.
Yeah, she let him slide though. She gets it. Mom's cool.
It's just one of those things where I'm like, 8th grade though.
Yeah,
Like I wasn't rolling in drunk 8th grade, but
he wasn't in 8th grade. He was a freshman.
oh my
Tim,
bad.
we moved up
It was still the last day of school. He was in 8th
in
grade.
8th grade. Yeah, right.
He was an 8th grader. All right. One of those things I will say, if you like this movie, I recommend seeing Everybody Wants Some, which is excuse me, I just kicked my mic. Another Richard Linklater
I've been wanting to watch that
movie. And David and I talked about doing that sometime soon.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
Hey, Tim, let me ask you, what is your favorite quote from this movie? We've said a lot of them through this show. We haven't said mine. But
What is your favorite? Tell me yours.
I just want to dance.
I almost brought that up when I was talking about him punching him, and I was like, now he can go and
dance.
And dance. I mean,
Yes.
because it was just like, what is that line? It's just it feels improv.
Like they just said, okay, just name a different thing every time.
Just say something, and he just, that's what that's, because it's just like, that just came so out of like,
Yes.
And then they end that scene on it, so it's like, okay.
And just the way that he got so, his hands are up and he just wants to dance. Always makes me laugh every time. But you didn't tell me yours, Tim.
Oh, I think it's the be a lot cooler if you did.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah.
Hey, man, are you cool?
Yeah, that's a good tune. You're just like, okay.
Okay, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Owen?
I don't know. I like the part where Mitch is in the liquor store. I like that whole conversation.
With the attendant. I love the interaction with the pregnant lady who's smoking a cigarette and buying a bottle of wine.
Right.
Be sure you eat your vegetables every day.
How old were you when you first bought beer legally? 21?
Well,
not,
of course,
I'm sorry, not legally. I mean, like before you bought it in a liquor store. Were you 21?
Oh, no. By the time I was a senior in high school, we had a person at a local liquor store that if you gave them enough extra money when you paid, you got to continue with the purchase.
I had a spot that I bought at for a while, and it was like I'd go in, I would just shoot the shit with this dude, just that style, man. Just like, yeah, man, cool, just right on, having a night out doing, But every other, I wouldn't do it all the time, but every other Friday, I'd go in, and then it's like one night I'm getting something, and he says something like, "Oh yeah, said something about his son, SK, right?" And I'm just like, and this kid was a year younger than me, and he played on one of my summer league basketball teams. And this whole time I was like, oh shit, this guy's known who I am like this whole time.
The entire time. You fooled no one.
Yeah. I was like, oh, but you know what? He sold me, but he sold me liquor. So, all right. You want some trivia?
Always. Give us Tim's trivia.
Trivia. I'm just going to scroll through some shit here. 1/6 of the budget was spent on music. Shock to anybody?
No.
I hear a lot of it was to get the Aerosmith song.
Probably specifically the Aerosmith.
They spent like a ton of money on that.
Yeah. The character of Wooderson is based on Matthew McConaughey's older brother, which is funny because on King of the Hill, he plays a character very similar. So it's like, and
I don't
no, he's
saw-
Boomhauer's brother, isn't he?
No, that's Brad Pitt.
Oh, that is Brad Pitt.
I don't remember who Matthew McConaughey was.
Shoot,
Brad Pitt was on King of the Hill.
He's the dude that stays. Anyways, he dates Luann, and he has the party at. Anyways, forget I said anything.
We will.
Beer drank by cast was real beer, except for the miners.
I bet they smoked some real pot on that set as well.
I would have to think so.
Yeah.
Also,
Matthew McConaughey was smoking real weed as he's rolling around.
oh, if he wasn't supplying,
Yeah.
at that point, him and Woody. I mean,
Yeah.
my God, those two dudes. Vince Vaughn auditioned for the role of Benny. It was turned down after Richard Linklater decided that he and Ben Affleck resembled each other too much. Huh.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel losing out on a role because the director thinks you look like Ben Affleck?
Ugh. That's a gut punch.
All right, what else we got? Not a lot of fun trivia on this one. I'm seeing. Oh, it's one of Quentin Tarantino's favorite movies. That doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all.
So, all right, well, let's just wrap that up. Happy 420, everybody.
Yeah.
What else do you got for your stoner movie? Is the which one is it?
Reefer Madness?
No. Which one, you told me your go-to one is it more Grandma's Boy or something?
Oh, that's a fun one. Grandma's Boy's a good one. Yeah, but Dazed and Confused would probably be my stoner movie.
What were we gonna do? Pineapple Express?
Yeah, Pineapple Express was one of the options. The Reefer Madness colorized version, which is trippy and scary.
Where was that available?
It's most at Amazon. is
Okay.
where I found
I
it.
wasn't sure if that
Rented.
was the one, and then I was just like, let's just do this one. Because we were going to do both. Remember? And I'm glad we just focused on this movie, because this is a great movie. Dazed and Confused, 1993, Richard Linklater. See, everybody wants to. Oh, that's got Old Boy in it, you know.
Yeah.
Captain America.
Oh, John Walker.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Oh, I can't wait. We're going to talk about him next week. Well, this is, hold on. Let me think. This is airing this week. So, yes, that would be if you listen to him in succession.
Next week.
Or you can just look for our follow-up episode, which is Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
The finale is coming up. So, I'm really excited. That show has been good.
It's been
In spots, great.
Yes. There's a lot to that show. We got a lot
I think
to unpack.
the difference in WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier have been interesting because it's showing a fun dynamic of where they can go with their, because this is a little bit more by the numbers. So cool. So come back for that. Owen, always good to have you, dude.
Always
Did you learn anything interesting today?
no.
Or did you just, you were like, this is,
Sad.
you just kind of sat here?
Well, thanks for sitting here.
Owen's got his Kansas City Monarchs hat and his Kansas City Kings t-shirt. See, dude, he's just throwback. He's a throwback kid. That's your superhero name, the Throwback Kid. All right, everybody. We're out of here. Dazed and Confused. Yeah, that's all I got. Happy 420, everybody. See you later.